Don't be afraid of your freedom.
Boom, here we are again, guys. We're at level 1. You lot are idiots, man. Idiots.
We understand that you have to do what you have to do. But sir,
You're idiots.
follow me.
You're idiots, and you're tyrants trying to tell people what to do. Shush you, shush you. You're aggressive man. No time for you. Go away.
What I'm trying to say is...
You got small man syndrome. Go away.
Sir,
Go away.
Go away.
You remind me of a little Jack Russell.
sir, there's no need for that.
Can you take that badge off? It offends me. It's a gang badge, mate. That isn't part of your uniform. That flag there is not part of your uniform. Yeah, it's a gang badge. Go actually fight some crime, yeah? You're a sausage, mate. Look, got a sausage here. Sausage! Big sausage! Big, massive jumbo sausage. See that sausage? Oh, sausages. Gamer, what do you think to all these sausages today, bro? Stay out of those dogging sites as well. Those dogging sites, I know about you and your pals. You filthy animals. Don't film. Are you mad, bro? It's also publicly accessible. Section 33, Criminal Justice Act 1972 says that I'm allowed to be here. There's no barrier. There's nothing that stops me from being able to come on here. Okay, well, hang on. I'll reply to that. I did shout abuse at her, yeah. I called her a fat bitch, yeah. Oh, come out in numbers. This is the walk of shame here. The pork of shame. Sausages. Sausages. 2 metres, sir. Well, I am. I'm on my way out anyway.
You want to go in?
Which way, what?
You want to go in out?
Do I want to go out?
Yes, which way you want to go in?
I want to go in. In, out, shake it all about. What?
Which way you want to go in out?
What do you mean, which way do I want to go out? I want to go whichever way I want to go. I am a free man in a free country and I shall walk where I like to walk. Oh.
Cause I'm free to do what I want. Any old time. Oh God, I'm free. Cause I'm free to do what I want. Any old time. I'm free. Ooh, yeah. To do what I want. Any old time. I'm free. Cause I'm free.
I'm sick to death of seeing people's rights be violated. You had a Karen in front before because she see a little confrontation, she was going to pipe up and tell me not to record because I don't have her approval or her say so. Well, tough. We're in a public place.
But to stop the recording.
Stop the recording, which is my right. I'm a free man. 1, 2 there. 3, 4, 5 sausages. Hey, copper! Leave our kids alone! Hey! See that sausage? Told you we were going to sizzle some sausages today, guys. Hey! Let's just keep... Oi, oi, oi. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm hoping you can hear me. My thing in the middle ain't moving though, so I don't know if you get... Oh, yeah, it is now. Yeah. Should be able to hear me. CP, yeah. I'm early, yeah? Ha! See your comment, didn't I? And I was like, I'll show CP about on time. No, I'm only joking. But I did see your comment. That made me laugh. Made me giggle. How's everyone, yeah? Let's have a little quick scroll through. We got CP, Bill, Kerry, Michong, good to see you. Valued conversation. I just mean that valued conversation, man. I value everyone's conversation, everyone's opinions, even if they're against my own. I value them. You know what I mean? Just never know what to put at the beginning of every live. Mrs. Reaper, good to see you. Good to see you. Stevie boy, Big up, Libertarian. I'm sure I've got everyone, or at least that's commented. Sean Lambert, what's up, man? Afternoon, man. Afternoon. Oh, shit. So, yeah, I thought I'd fire up a little live. I thought, why not? No, there's like a few protests going on today, so there might be people watching live streams elsewhere. For me, the weather was shocking, and I thought, I'm just not going to entertain it. I'm not going to entertain it. I'm going to stay at home and have a day off. Yes, AY. Afternoon, bro. Yeah, I just think going to entertain it. So I sat and I watched some content. Been watching bits of content and seeing what's been going on over the weekend. See the same shit that I've been banging on about for days. I know, but I see the same shit shows going on. People fucking outing people in public, calling them toxic, just outright just causing division at these protests. Some people get assaulted this weekend. And again, what do you know? A lot of it comes from Manchester. Comes from Manchester. Yeah. So there's a video that's been going around. I can't put it up. I've tried to put it up on onto StreamYard, and it says the file's too big, so I can't upload it. But there's a video, basically, of a guy that was at the protest that does drink or has been known to turn up to these protests pissed up, which I don't condone in any way, shape or form. But then you've got people that are all kind of like mobbing around him, making out that these are the type of people that we shouldn't be having at these protests, that are toxic, etc., etc. Talks about paedophiles, which the guy isn't, so I don't know why he even mentioned paedophiles. And the same people's mouths it's coming out of are the same people that sat and supported Curtis Arnold for quite a period of time. We're talking like well over a year, maybe 2 years, where people were saying exactly what we still know today to be true. But they decided to be like flies around shit around him, because it was kind of helping them build their little channels that they were trying to build at the moment, which is why now all of a sudden they might have some relevance, is because actually your channels are kind of associated with the exact thing that you claim to be calling out. It's kind of crazy to me. I'll be honest. It's fucking crazy. And on the same side, Rupert Lowe for Prime Minister. But no, it's seriously, like, I've seen some shit, man. And then like some other guy that was maybe said a racist comment towards a YouTuber, which again I don't condone. But then should somebody be like pushing somebody or putting hands on somebody? Probably not. And this is all going on, and it's all done in the chase for clicks and views, in my opinion. And that was not going to make me the most popular person in saying it. But guess what? Hey, I don't give a shit. I'll say what I see. I've told you, it's a bit like catchphrase. If I see it, I'll say it. And I'll say it for what it is. Doesn't mean I'm always right, but I'll say it anyway. Right, mate, right. Yeah, I'll say it anyway. But that's the way it is, I guess. You called him out over 3 years ago and no one listened. Yeah, I know this, but it's not even about that. It's not even about whether I called it out, or the fact of the matter is it was public knowledge. Forget who said it. It was public knowledge. Like, yeah, I don't even need, It was public knowledge. And for 2 years, these people sniffed round him and fucking floated round him like flies round shit in Manchester. Yeah, and they were all building their own channels off the back of that by, you know, getting little appearances in a particular person's content, etc., etc. Like, come on, man, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out. We ain't thick, are we? Well, most of us are grown-ass adults and that. We ain't a bunch of retards. We should be able to see what we see. Like, you can't literally sit and watch something and, like, not recognise what you're seeing. It's surely impossible. Unless you're blind. Unless you're physically blind, then maybe you can't. Brandon, what's up? But I see it and I thought it was really bad, man. I thought it was really bad because that guy has been going to protests longer than all these people who think it's cool to go to a protest. Yeah, this guy was going to protest. Like, he was probably one of the first old boys that I met at a protest. Where I agree with you. Yeah, he sometimes likes a bit of a beer, and you know, he'll turn up at a protest with a can. I personally don't think anyone should turn up to a protest with any alcohol. Yeah, that on either side, I don't think anyone should. Like, I don't judge someone for doing it, but me personally, I wouldn't be rocking up at a protest with beers in my hand and shit like that. I just wouldn't do it. But that still doesn't make it a right to everyone mob him and kind of like almost not attack him. It doesn't have to be like it's physical attacks, but attack him and like humiliate him in front of everybody. There could have been a way of addressing that, where if there was any bad behaviour on his behalf, which I'm not condoning if there was, but if someone could have took him aside and said they didn't have to be over the whole megaphone and make it look bad. Do I think protesting works anymore? Can't even really answer that question, to be honest, bro. And not because I don't think I know the answer, but because probably my answer isn't really YouTube appropriate. But I think these protests you have seen, or here anyway, Brandon, yeah, I know you're over in the States, brother, but here, like now, people are going and like getting permission from the police to protest. And I don't like, and I get it, I get like, well, I don't actually get it. I don't get it, actually, no. I don't actually get it. Like, that's your right to protest, so why is everyone going and like, I don't know, it's just, to me, it's just like having to ask for permission to do a protest. And that, to me, defeats the whole point in any protest anyway. So I guess not, in a way. I guess they don't. We got to still protest. I agree, Sean. Definitely still got to protest. 100%. You still got to protest, yeah? This is what I'm saying. Like, I'd still go out and even if I didn't cover protests and this kind of content, then I would still probably be at that protest anyway. And people say, do they really still work? Listen, like I said, I remember me and UK Transparency, yeah? We were going to or we went and covered some, or yeah, maybe a couple of protests some time ago. Again, before everyone was going to protests, before like pre Southport riots, yeah, by a substantial bit as well. And like I say, you were lucky if you got like 10 people outside these protests, you know. And that old boy that I'm talking about, that I think was treated maybe a bit unfairly, was one of those people that would go to those protests back then. And for ages, they'd go to these protests and there'd only be like 5, 6, maybe 10 people turn up. And for ages, those people could have said exactly the same thing. Oh, is it worth it? Is it worth it? But guess what? They still do the same thing today. And I'm glad they did, because if it hadn't have been for people like that, okay, maybe wasn't getting the traction they should have been getting at the time. but it kind of inspired other people to go out and do the same thing. I've said the names before, you know, the Active Patriots and stuff. They're telling you, and even now, go look at Active Patriots' work on his channel now. Tell me I'm lying. Nomadic Brit, good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Good to see you. Just a little afternoon one. Don't know how long we'll go for. Has protesting ever worked? They're more a vehicle to let people vent. If protests worked, Britain would not have joined in the war against Iraq. Do you know what, Michong? I'm going to leave that for a minute. I probably agree. I agree with that. I agree with that because a lot of people hit the streets alone. Over 1 million people hit the streets. That was just what was reported. So again, it was probably played down. But there were a lot of people that protested against the Iraq war. And they still went anyway, which is a great example of saying, no, they don't work. I think protests and stuff, if they don't work for the reason anymore that they are meant to, what they do seem to do is they seem to bring awareness. And the more I see, like, the more people that go out and speak up, the more people are like open to maybe actually, or like more people speak up. So if it wasn't for the protests and that, so to speak, I think more people would have just stayed silent. I think more people would just stay silent and be a little bit more, not accepting, but kind of just not give it too much interest. But because people have been going and, you know, it's hard not to, isn't it? When you've got a big protest in your town or in your city, you know, why people, and then you see like big numbers and you have a lot of people then think, you know what, I ain't staying quiet anymore. These people are right. So you're right. Protests, I think, for the reason that they're meant to, for the most part, they don't seem to work anymore. We don't seem to live in those times, which would maybe be more evidence maybe to say that we live in less of a democracy than what we once have done. I don't know. Don't know the answer. Jamie, what's up, mate? Afternoon, Jupes. Should I just thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I know, like I said, regardless, I know that we've still got to go out and protest. Yeah, that I definitely do know. That we definitely can't like fall complacent in any kind of anything we have managed to achieve. And like I say, for the most part, I just think that's giving people confidence to speak out. Like I say, when I went and covered the protest in the early days, it was like nobody wanted to go to them because they were scared of all the buzzwords that come with it. Like, hey, you're fascist. Hey, you're Nazi. Like, and who wants to be called that, right? You still get it a lot now. I'll have people that will say to me, like, oh, can I not be on camera, please? Go, like, can I not be on camera? Because if I get seen here, like, I might get in trouble with work. And I'm like, yeah, no worries. And I'll just, like, literally cut that little tiny bit out if I have to. It's one of them. It's a two-party system of democracy. No, well, this is why we hope for change here. And maybe it's not for everyone, but I have said for a long time, I think Rupert Lowe is the person that should be running this country right now. I think definitely that's the best person for the job right now, in my opinion. I'd like to think so. Doesn't mean I'm going to be right. It might actually be really shit, like the rest. But, you know, we've got to try and change something. Bring Jupes up. I think we've got a couple of guests, actually. Afternoon, Jupes.
Hiya.
You're
I
right.
was just going to talk to you about that. What do you personally think with Rupert Lowe?
I think, yeah, like I say, I personally think he's the man that should be running the country. That's who I would put my money on. We were lining them all up and saying, where you're going to put your money, where's your betting chips going? Mine would be going in the corner of Rupert Lowe.
Yeah, mine as well. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I'm well celebrating that he's doing a party, and I'm glad that Ben said that it'll go over and merge. And I think that they've probably already started the merger in the background, to be quite honest. But I'm glad that he said that.
I see a post on X.
Well.
I see a post on X where is even Paul Golding with Britain First doing the same thing. Like basically saying that he's not going to get in the if he has to kind of, stop the.
Yeah, it's going to stand
local
aside,
campaigning.
isn't it? It's
Yeah.
going to stand aside. Mm.
So this can only be good. I think he's already got I see yesterday or late last night he had 10% of the polls already.
Well, there you go.
That's already more than the Lib Dems.
I think it's brilliant. I really do think it's brilliant. I think if the merger goes well and they all merge together, I'd like to see a few other outliners swap over and join him. And then they go up against Reform, and I think that they'll actually win.
Yeah, I think Nigel Farage must be sat there at the minute thinking, oh, shit.
Well, some people have said,
shit.
"Oh, Nigel Farage is laughing all the way to the winning post because, you're going to divide the vote." I was like, "What? How do you even think that is beneficial to Reform?" Some people are mad. Some of the things that they say.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. They've definitely got more traction as it stands. You got to give them that. But too much has changed over on Reform's side. And I think Rupert Lowe's got a very, very popular presence on social media. And let's be honest, that's where your audience is now, isn't it? That's where you're going to find your voters and everything really on social media.
Have you noticed that people have been going out the way, though, to try and brand him an ethno-nationalist, to try and stop people being interested in him?
I think it will be interesting to see where he stands with the ethno-nationalists, or whether he'll even address it. I don't know.
I don't think he should address it at all. I think he
probably shouldn't.
Ignore it. Yeah, should just ignore it. Has he ever said anything that you can look at him and go, ethno-nationalist? No, not in my opinion. Has he ever said anything that you can look at him and go, civic nationalist? No, not in my opinion. He's just been somebody who's a patriot, somebody who loves his country.
I would say to anyone that feels threatened by ethno-nationalists, and this is no disrespect to them, but I don't think what they ever propose is not everything about it's just not achievable. And as much as someone, even Rupert Lowe, to be fair, right, and I'm not knocking the guy, but even him, to be fair, like when you just outright make claims that you will get rid of certain things and you will do this, it sounds great. And I hope to God we see it, because it's what we need. But we've seen time and time again that every time certain things tried to get passed, lawyers and all these lawyers and Supreme Courts get involved, and they're really the ones that make the say on whether or not certain things get passed. So
yeah, I agree. But have you ever seen Rupert Lowe when he's in Parliament and when he's taking on these committees and stuff? He's brilliant.
Yeah, no,
he knows
good.
what he's doing. He's very good at economics. He's very good at business. He's very good at understanding the workings of Parliament. I think he'd be brilliant.
And I also think he's like the least corrupt. I don't know if you look at backgrounds and that. I think I just feel more comfortable with a guy like him than some of the others. It's always been the case.
He's very good at understanding legislation, policy, procedures and laws and statutes, right? He's very good at it because that's where he pulls them up. And of course he can root through and get rid of things. If he was like the Prime Minister, he could actually retract stuff we don't need and you know, all the stuff that's causing the hurdles. I think he'll be brilliant.
I think
And-
it's
and-
what's
and the fact-
needed.
Yeah, and the fact that he gives his wages every month to charity just goes to show what a good person he is.
And that's the other thing. I think he'd do the same even if he was PM. I think like he'll just give that salary straight to charity. You'll never probably ever see that ever again, to be honest. I mean, look
Why
at
do you
even the
think-
likes of Rishi Sunak. Look how much
Yeah.
money he had, yeah? Still see him taking that salary. He didn't need to take it either. None of them do. Half of these people don't need to take the salary. But
Why do you think Paul Thorpe and Richard Inman were sort of like Paul Thorpe less so? Richard Inman's gone right on a rampage, isn't he? But why do you think they've done that? I mean, there's also that other half Chinese looking bloke Mo. He's not very happy about it. The Wizard's not very happy about it. I'm like, what's going on here? What is it that you don't like? Because if Rupert Lowe had joined Advance, you wouldn't have had a problem.
yeah.
But now that Advance wants to join Rupert Lowe, you've got a problem. That's weird.
I don't know. I think to a degree, don't people just like once somebody's set with what they know and what they like what they like, don't they? It's kind of some people are starting to change their mind again. Like, but I think everyone just needs to see the bigger picture. And like I say, people like Ben Habib have done.
Yeah.
Again,
Oh
Paul
yeah, my
Golding's saying the same.
estimation on Ben Habib has gone up a lot, especially the way that he's magnanimously sort of said, look, this is about the country, not about making yourself a political career. And I've always been more worried about the country, and I want to join him because I think it's the best thing to do.
This is
Yeah.
where because of this, right? So I think exactly that. All of these people have said that the country's best interest should be at heart, yeah? Surely
Yep.
some of these people aren't silly and know that the best option right now is to step aside and probably back this idea of Restore Britain. I think they know this. And I think it can only, it may be years to come. If this all works out the way we hope it does, maybe there'll be a different look on people on the right side of politics. And actually, there were a lot of strong figures that were willing to kind of step aside in order to achieve something. And that's very rare again in politics that happens. We see it. Yeah, they're usually all trying to throw each other under the bus, not step aside and give it the next person.
Mhm.
Especially
Well,
when they're from
I've
different
seen a
parties.
lot of people criticising and going, "Oh well, Steve Laws says that he likes Rupert Lowe," and that should should put you off. But I'm thinking, well, no, not really, because even paedophiles like fucking to eat food. Do you know what I mean? And I like food. I'm not going to stop eating because paedophiles eat. I mean, if it's just because somebody that I don't actually stand with politically likes the same person that I think is best for the job, doesn't mean I shouldn't still like that person. It's madness the way some people think on here. You know?
More minds, narrow-minded.
It's crazy.
That's within human nature. This is what I'm saying. We're kind of sometimes, I say, we're kind of fighting ourselves as well, because, we ain't exactly fucking perfect as humans, are we? Some of these things, it's kind of natural. Kind of expect it every time with this stuff. You're always going to have people that clash and egos and people that are in,
Yeah. Well, I just look. I think that he can see the same problems that we can see. I just think that his answers are a bit too extreme. But that's everybody's got their own ideals. That's that. So CP's joined us. I'm going to stand back. Let CP say something. Go on, CP. What did you want?
Yeah, CP. Why are you not out protesting? Thought you'd be protesting today.
Where I left this morning. I went out, got on a bus, and then got off a bus again, basically.
All right.
because it's damn
Interesting.
right.
The end, yeah?
No,
At the end of the story.
literally, I got to the next bus stop and then got off a bus. So I wasn't
Well,
going.
what'd you do that for, you silly cow?
Oops. But I was going to go.
Oh, you
But-
got on a bus and then changed it. You were going to go to a
Yeah.
protest and then
Yeah.
thought, no, fuck it, and went home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, even one gen, I was going to meet one gen. He even was in London already, and he said it's too wet
Oh, because of the rain.
because
Got
of
ya.
the rain. So,
Got ya.
nah. I'll be out this week coming. I got
Yeah.
Birmingham on Saturday. So yeah, I'll be up there Saturday. And I got an SEN demo on Friday afternoon. So yeah. Are they not one, Jen? I thought your Samsung was bad in the rain, not your iPhone.
You are?
Yeah, next weekend should be good.
What do
Speaking
you
in the
think
chat.
of Rupert Lowe and Ben Habib joining together?
I don't actually know. I haven't really looked into it
Okay.
What do you mean
myself.
you've not looked into it? Do you know who Rupert Lowe is?
Yeah, the reform leader, isn't he?
No, restore.
No.
Oh. I bet you do, Sasha.
I think it's one of the best things to have happened on the right for a long time.
Do you reckon?
think, so some people, CP, are stepping aside, yeah? Like Ben Habib and stuff, because they believe that this is the right choice. Do you think we might see the same thing with Nick Tenkoni?
It's hard
Um,
to say about that. I don't think he will. Myself.
I don't think he'll merge, but I think he might stand aside in some regions and be strategic about when they put people up.
So Nick has already come out saying I can't remember what word Runjan will correct me, I think. And he said something that he will split the vote or something. Runjan, if I got it wrong, correct me. But I can't remember. He won't split the vote. I can't remember exact wording he used. But yeah, so it'd just be interesting. The next couple of years would be just interesting, I think.
I just think all these other right-wing political parties, yeah. If we were, and I said it for a while, I said but I was on about them all having to come together, and people were like, no, because unfortunately they all want to lead the country and stuff. But ideally, I said if you could get this where you had somebody that everyone else was willing to go, you know what, we'll step aside, then it only really benefits their parties in the long run anyway. Because as soon as you get rid of Labour and Conservative and that idea that they're the only two parties that can run, then somewhere down the line, these other parties have just as much chance as Restore at maybe one day getting in. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of a no-brainer. And it's about what's right for the country right now and not people thinking, oh, yeah, no, I need to run the country. No, if this person has got saying exactly the same as everybody else, all these other, and he's probably got enough of a following or a good chance of everybody backing it, then I think this is the best idea.
I think it's brilliant. It's the best news I've heard for a long time.
Yeah, something to actually get quite excited about.
Yeah. I was well happy. I was like, yes, Rupert. Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
Ben. Yes. Yes.
I've never actually physically gone and signed up to a political party, but I am going to with Restore. Why not? I think everyone should.
Yeah, Runjan just said what I meant. But I knew I got a bit of information wrong there. So Nick basically said he won't split a vote versus the government, but he ain't gone back down to the last minute. It always has been about 2034 for general election with him. Always has been.
2034.
So basically, what he's saying is that he's going to keep building his own party because he thinks he's got a good chance of getting the 2034 election. That's fine.
I've heard something like that. I thought it was 29 though. I'm sure he did say.
Well, there's one in 29, but he's thinking that the election after that he might be able to get in, and I think that he's probably more realistic looking at it that way, Nick Tenkoni.
Yeah, 100%.
Because if we were to vote before Rupert put a party forward, most people were saying, right, we've got no choice, we're going to have to go reform, and even though it's not really what we want, it's a stepping stone, right? Now we've got Rupert, we don't need a stepping stone. We can just all go over to Rupert and Ben and hopefully collaborate a bigger section of people and a bigger voter base. But
and you've got to remember, there were a lot of people on the reform side as well, that weren't happy with the situation when Rupert left reform. There was that as well, where like he has still got a lot of backing on the reform side as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, but people, but even with Advance still there, we know that Advance was there, but people weren't going to leave Reform for Advance. But I can see people leaving Reform, and going to Rupert and with Advance's amalgamation as well. I can see that happening. And again, if we vote in Restore and they don't turn out to do what people want, then I think Nick Tenkoni has got a really good chance in 2034. Because I don't think people are going to reverse and go backwards. They're not going to go to all this liberalism and everything else. It went too far. Yeah. It went too far. All the loopholes that have been used to take advantage in our country and do what they've done, ruin it basically. The politicians.
What I like
reversed.
What I like about Nick Tenkoni and UKIP is what they're doing over in France. They have teams out there, not causing any trouble, but exposing what actually going on over there.
It's funny you should say that, because I was speaking to One Generation Media when I met him at that media, and he told me a little saying. I've been waiting for that video to drop, and I've seen it today. So his brother is going to get a review. BBA is going to get a review in my next live. So yeah, it's interesting.
But I do like how they do that, with sending the teams out there to have a look into this, not causing any shit, just going, filming and putting it out there.
You know what? That's all great, but they've still got to be able to run a country.
Yeah, but then
they've still got to be able to run a country, and they're still because that's the only other thing with there's some. They say all the right things, but there's so much more to it than what they're saying. Obviously, we're interested in this stuff because it's stuff that the public want to see changing the most. But there's everything else, and all your international affairs and things like it's. Like I say, personally,
it's going to be interesting. The next number of years, it's going to be very interesting. Like, I tell you something, and I'll tell you some stuff I hate about our government at the minute. The shit they're doing around special education stuff is fucking out of order.
Well, what are they doing?
So, I hope you have heard that they're not out yet, but they're bringing out a white paper. And this white paper will have in it And I had a chat with Bear a couple of nights ago, a few nights back about this. So what they're doing is they're going to be bringing in digital passports for children with special educational needs. And what them digital passports will have in it is will basically give the government, the access to a child's educational healthcare plan, and that will give the government access to the child's address and everything about that child, including their disabilities and everything. And they also are going to be bringing in, all this has come out over the past couple of weeks. Like, this is why I'm doing something called CP Talks on my channel once a week. To break all this down properly. So another thing they're bringing in is a 4-tier sports system that will basically only give children with greater need, like cerebral palsy and other conditions like that, basically access to education healthcare plan. But then children with like dyslexia, autism, and stuff like that, disabilities like that will not get an educational healthcare plan, and they are also taking away the right to appeal from the parents as well. And it's also, and this one,
Right, hold on. Can we go one thing at a time because it's getting
Take a breath,
now.
CP. Take a breath. Take a breath.
Right, so the digital passports, I don't agree with them at all, right?
Yeah.
But everything that you said that you're worrying about, they've already got access to all that anyway from medical records.
not educational healthcare plans. They won't have access to that yet.
Well, they would, because if it's already in the schools, the government could easily just ask the headmistress. It's not something that's, once there's a record kept that's in authority, it can be accessed by a government. Right, so that's the first thing. But it wouldn't be in a central database. I agree with your CP. It wouldn't be easy. It would probably be easily accessed. But I mean, I don't understand why people with special needs have got to have a digital passport. That's just putting pressure on the most vulnerable in the world. So then you went on to the second thing. You said the sports is going to be 4-tier.
No, so 4-tier sports system. So what basically basically children with, like, I'm going to say it, life-limiting conditions, and I know I probably will get a whole load of shit for saying that, but that would be like cerebral palsy, muscle difficulty. I definitely say that word, and stuff like that. They will only get an educational healthcare plan, and the children like non-disabilities will not get one anymore.
Yeah.
And what different and what in the real world, what difference does that make?
So that will then affect the children without educational healthcare plans, education. Just look at me, for example, yeah?
I'm asking you in practical terms. That's good. Yeah, so use yourself here. Go on, explain.
I have non-disabilities, and without an educational healthcare plan, I wouldn't have been able to get into the right educational setting for me. So I went to 2 different special schools, special educational settings, shall I say. And without an educational healthcare plan, I wouldn't been able to get access to them schools to help my education. And I would have struggled in mainstream high school, for example.
Okay, so did you go to specialist schools?
Yes. I went to Morehouse School in Surrey Oxted, and then I went to Isle of Wight for 6th form.
What you're saying, but obviously if it's a public, so if it's a mainstream school that's for people with additional needs, they still need people to get into that school and
my local authority had to pay for it.
Yeah, there's the ECP that pays for that,
So, CP, so does that mean, say, because I've never had a special needs kid, so I don't. But I have got a special needs brother. But obviously, I didn't have to deal with his education.
Yeah.
My parents did. So, does that mean, say, a child has got, I don't know, autism, right, and it's quite severe? Does that mean that child won't get any assistance in picking the school? Because I know children with special needs, they can apply for any school that they wish, and that they're given priority, aren't they, when they're delegating the places?
Only
because of
if
the
they got
special needs.
education healthcare plan due.
Yeah,
So that's what you're saying is being affected. So children
Yeah,
with
then
autism
it's
won't
like-
no longer be able to do that.
When
Okay, I've got it.
SEND, Special Educational Needs and Disability Reform Policy come out, this way basically everything will then be put on hold when this come out.
So they can still go to the school, say for instance, Jukes. yeah?
Not
It just
for
means they won't get
special
funding.
education.
So
Hold
you
on,
just-
hold on,
especially
CP. Hold on, CP. What you saying, Bear?
Sorry,
I'm
Bear.
pretty sure again, a child of that needed that extra help could still go to that school, depending on circumstances. Yeah, something like
Not
autism.
Education
Something
healthcare
like
plan.
autism, I imagine they would. However, if they had that ECHP or whatever is taken away from them, obviously then they would just get the same treatment as every other child in that school. They wouldn't get the additional help for that
Yeah,
additional.
they won't get, like, for example, get into specialist settings without that EHCP.
So why do you think the government have made that decision? Do you think it's because of lack of funding, where they're putting the funding into other areas such as immigration,
Pretty
or
much,
do you think it's because, dare I say it, autistic children are increasing in number due to cousin marriage? Do you think maybe that there's
I
less
don't
of
know now.
there's less of a need to actually worry about the lower spectrums because there's more of them now and it's not so abnormal in a classroom? Do you think maybe that's part of it?
It could be.
It's-
That's a
It
good.
also, well, one of the reasons is, and the government has come out and said this, is funding. So the government, basically, we are in debt. Well, the funding is in debt already, £5 billion already, and the government is having to pay that back.
Yeah, I don't. All that numbers on paper is a load of old bullshit anyway. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
So
They're
this
saying
is
that they haven't
what-
got the money, but that's interesting because I don't believe this government anyway. Because when we had the last Treasury announcement, when they basically said that we didn't have money and we had this 20 billion black hole and all this rubbish, and it turned out actually we had money to spend that was excess. We had it to spend, but she just gave it away frivolously, and we were in the red basically. We weren't.
Yeah.
We was in the black, not in the red. Yeah, we weren't in debt basically.
So basically, so I started up, and it out on social media, all on my channel, and it got it on YouTube channel, everything. So with One Generation Media's help, we started up a campaign called "Every SEN Child Deserves a Fair Education," to try and stop the government in their tracks with all this.
Do you think that it would be more advantageous to build schools just for special needs? Because when my children were in school, I mean, I've never had a special need child, but I know that there was a lot. The mindset and the way of thinking was that if you put children with special educational needs into a mainstream school, that it was fairer because it was less prejudiced and
So
actually the children. Hold on, CP. Let me just land. That the children would actually blend in and understand. It might be able to normalise some of their abnormal behaviour that came through whatever disability they had, right? Especially when it was down to behavioural problems like autistic behavioural problems, etc., etc.
So
But hold on, CP. But
Mm.
as a mother that never had children, I found it that it was disruptive to the normal children, because what would happen is you'd get somebody that would have behavioural problems who would just kick off for some reason. I don't know. Maybe there was a loud noise in the classroom, right? Kick off, which is no fault of their own because they had this autistic situation going on. But they'd start throwing chairs at the other pupils or the teacher. And then that kid would be taken out and calmed down by saying, come on, let's go and bake cakes. And I used to think, no, that's not fair on the normal kids. That kid's just slumped chairs at them, hit the teacher, done all this, disrupted the whole classroom, and now you're going to let that kid go and bake cakes. That makes sense.
Yeah.
If you had a special school, you could do that because you would understand that child needed understanding. But you've got to understand, how does that look to children that haven't got a full comprehension yet? They look like bad behaviours being rewarded.
yeah. So
You know what I mean?
Hang on, CB, because my daughter's autistic, Juice. Okay, she's 6 years old, and we're quite lucky to get an early diagnosis. Very rare that they'll even diagnose it at the age. I'm very lucky, and we got the choice when we were putting her into mainstream school. We could have put her into a special school or mainstream. Now, for me, she's not on the severe spectrum of what people might think when they think of autism and stuff, yeah. But she definitely does need some additional needs, but it's not like
Yeah.
major, right? So for me, and this is no disrespect to anyone that really is severely on the spectrum, but I thought to myself, no, I don't want her going to a special school. I want her going to a school with like the average person, because otherwise she's going to be in a school with people that are way more severe than her. How can their whatever their disability is going to be is way worse than my daughter's.
Yeah, so you would get it the other way. I get that, Bear. I do understand that.
Being around that would then cause her to regress back, like basically go backwards, which is possible.
So do you think there should be like a cut-off, a level point where they say, right, you are on the spectrum, you still get special educational needs help, but you do have the opportunity, because your child's not at that higher level, to go into mainstream, and maybe the other children should actually go to a special educational needs? Because surely, Bear, you wouldn't want your child to be in a classroom where a child is so disruptive it starts throwing chairs at the other kids and the teacher.
No, that's a bit different.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
But you've got to work out, like you said, whether that's just naughty behaviour or whatever, because otherwise you're rewarding them, yeah? It was a bit like, I don't know. I remember being at school, and because I was naughty, there was like one lesson that I used to go to, yeah? And all we used to do in those lessons is like go on trips and stuff, yeah? Like, everyone else is still stuck at school and we're getting taken out to like theme parks and shit. I'm like, you know, there's got to be some kind of, again, assessment, hasn't there, of each child, each individual. And again, it all comes down to, one, what do you need for that? You need the funding and you need the resources. Neither one do they have. And it's not just the educational system, but it's over the full. Come on, why is everyone so fucking pissed off with why the country is the way it is? It's because, as I said the other night, we're all paying more council tax every fucking year. But all of your services that you think that you're paying into, which is meant you're paying into, so everyone in the country has got these things. The standard of them has only got worse while we're paying more. Makes no sense, does it? Yet we all keep paying it.
It never has.
You've got to remember, the government ain't got no money. Every bit of the money that the government spend on all our hospital, all of this, all these services, it is paid for by the people. They don't have no, so it's mad, isn't it? It's just mad that we kind of allowed it to get to the point where we're all paying this money, but we ain't seeing nothing from it, while at the same time giving it people from foreign lands who definitely shouldn't. It's mad.
But then in like Southampton, I got sent this post. They are adding on extra schools and also going to be upping the special educational places. But now this is where but is. I have got a list because a part of the campaign that me and One Generation Media are running, we are doing a special educational tour, a SEN awareness tour around the UK to make awareness of what's going on at each council. And unfortunately, Southampton, for example, is on that list. And they came out, and the council had come out recently and said, oh, we are now upping the places, but we have no funding to do it at a minute. Like, these councils have no clue on what's going on.
Do you know what, CP? Another reason why you should vote for back Restore Britain is because I believe that Rupert Lowe, when he gets in, he'll actually look at all the public services. He'll go after those and where that's going. And so again, another reason for you to vote for Rupert Lowe.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
Rob.
there's
Good
a
to see you as
demo
well, mate.
this Friday outside Parliament.
But yeah, it's a shame, but it's like I say, loads of services, CP, they've all had cutbacks. You know, I had the police force. There's something like 46, I want to say, police forces in and around the UK or like Britain, yeah. And they want to cut that down to something like 14 police forces. That's a big substantial cut, that. Unless
I bet they do. Yeah.
unless they're all still going to be in a job, but they're like going to be, you know, each area is going to be spread wider, maybe. I don't know, but still, again, the wider area they've got to cover. More of it.
So CP, you're saying that you're going to go up and down the country. What you're going to do is like go to every council.
So with the tour, we are looking to join forces with other special needs parents to help them fight at each council type thing. So it'd be like, so where I'm basically putting it to people, it will be like a UKIP mass deportation tour, but it's just, it be like a special education tour. And then the main aim, then we'll come back to London next year, where we'll take the tour to outside Parliament to basically say to Parliament, basically outside number 10, not Parliament, and say to them, we're not going anywhere. We are here. We want changes. We do not want the reform policies to come in. We do not want the white paper. We do not want digital passports for SEN children.
Right.
And stuff like that. Because I know myself how bad this has affected. So my parents were taken tribunal by our local authority because they refused to pay for my sixth form, the school on Isle of Wight. They tried to refuse to pay for my high school as well. But then on the final day at my primary school, the local authority, basically turned around to my parents after them paying the money already for the tribunal, basically, and said, "Oh, we'll pay for your high school, for her high school, for Morehouse School."
So why didn't your parents try and get that money back?
Because once you pay it, that it paid. You cannot get a refund.
Well, then maybe that should be a policy that's changed. How about
Well,
arguing for that policy change?
And we all literally every parent is gone through stuff like this.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So why don't you?
And we will be arguing all this, but it comes from the government to the next thing. But none of this is in the reform policy or in the white paper for the education. None of this will be in it, and it should be. It should be that the parents can get money back. I mean, but it's not.
So are you giving up going to other protests now then?
No,
And you're
I'm
just
still
gonna-
going to other protests,
Oh, okay.
but this is nothing I'm doing on the side. Like, I am,
Something that you feel strongly about in a CP, clearly.
yeah, because like I have been talking. So the tribunal, I'm not sure on top of my head. I can find out for you. I can ask my dad when they're back in the week. But it would have cost something around over £1,000. But bear in mind, I have all the private assessments done. As well. And for the reports for the tribunal.
Someone's asked if you know.
I saw that. What I'm saying, how much? So it'll be different costs for each council. I do not know how much it costs. The list was sent to me. I didn't do the list. Somebody else did the list. Another parent did the list.
Yeah, Jojo's saying why Southampton on your list.
So,
Is
So
that,
it's
are they
a-
one
it's
of the
a
councils
council.
that are on about trying to do this?
we're not targeting the schools. We're targeting the councils on this, under up and down the country. And the Southampton is on the list. So that reason why we're going to it.
Right.
And also we got really good sport with the Patriots in Southampton as well. Yeah, but
Well-
not like that.
Well, I wish you luck anyway, because if you feel strongly
Jojo.
about something, you should really stand up for it. So, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, that's it. No, but
Yeah, we're kicking off next month in Enfield at the last one on the list. So we are
Well, that'd be
there. We're
interesting.
taking it to Wembley.
You're going Enfield, and then you're taking it to Wembley.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we're taking it
what
to
do you think
Southampton.
of Tommy having to flee the country?
Yeah, he got an
Not
ISIS
sure.
threat, didn't he?
Yeah.
We could, but I'm not sure. I think we want to step foot back on the Isle of
Some,
Wight.
like, dickhead lefties and that. I see a post earlier of some dickhead lefties and trying to laugh about the fact and say that he's now a refugee because he's had to flee his own country. And I was like, they're just any opportunity those left get, they'll just use it to fucking
Yeah.
spin their bullshit, won't they? Honestly,
Yeah.
it's absolutely insane. It is insane. What's up, Clint, mate? Good to see you. Flora. Jojo saying we're classed as one of the top.
So when it comes to Tommy, I feel I've got so much respect for that man, because he brought everything into the mainstream and opened up a lot of people's eyes, and he stood by his
Really
company.
that comment, to be honest. Tommy left what he built. I can't respect that. But
No, I can respect it, because I think there's nobody else that's suffered the persecution that he has. Nobody else. Even the people that have gone away for 2 and 3 months haven't consecutively gone away. He's gone away more than once.
Can we take the fact that it's Tommy out of the picture for a minute and just be like anybody, yeah? Is it right that anybody should have to flee the country because their government can't protect them?
No, it's not.
It's not, is it? Like, let's forget
No.
the fact that it's him for a minute, because like everyone gets hung up on the individual, and it's like, if they can do it to him, they can do it to you. And I say that like the lefties all the time, you do realise the same shit you start laughing about, thinking you got one over on people. It's like, it's literally like possible that these people do exactly the same thing to you. Yeah.
Well, look at the school teacher in Batley. He still can't go back to his own village.
I know, you've seen that.
That's disgusting. He got run out. And our government did absolutely nothing about it. And he was actually teaching something that was on the curriculum that was government authorised. And yet they never stood by him. Disgusting.
I'm ordering a McDonald's for dinner.
Blacklisted still here. Head up. No one's blacklisted. I don't know what that comment is, Daryl, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think you can like be like, oh, I can't respect that. Like, I'd expect anyone to probably do that, to be honest. If it's what's best for you at this moment in time, I'd say then do what you think is best for you and your family, innit?
Well,
knock a man for doing what he thinks is correct. Like, that's
I think the thing is, we've all been desensitized, right? Because you go to these protests and you might see some Muslims on the other side that are just shouting and hollering and saying a few things. But actually, at the extreme end of it all, you could have your head chopped off. You could be blown up. You could have people turn up in the middle of the night and set fire to your house. I think because we've seen so much over the years, people have forgotten just how bad it can be. And it can be that bad with the radical Islamists. And the problem is that we've got ISIS, Taliban, Al-Qaeda, Mujahideen, all getting through at Dover and sitting here all conspiring.
I have said it, Jukes, like, and I said it a long time ago, that all these people that are coming in, like, all right, you could, if you're going to sit and nitpick and be like, oh yeah, that individual, of course, like, there's going to be people that come through, yeah, that maybe are decent people and do just want to see if they can get over here and build themselves a new life. Maybe they will live and assimilate and everything else, yeah, but there's got to be, because they've been telling us for years, their propaganda videos have been out there for years, pre Twin Towers, 9/11, yeah, pre 9/11, after 9/11, that these people are going to come in and invade the country, etc., and it's happening. How do you know any of these people coming in on boats haven't come from terrorist training camps?
We don't, and that's the bottom line. We don't.
You literally don't. How do you know they haven't been told, right, go in? They're not even actually refugees. How do you know they were perfectly fine where they were, but they haven't been sent on a mission? How do you know?
We don't.
You don't. That's my concern about being so undocumented. You don't.
Exactly. And then that's why, hopefully, Rupert Lowe will stop it. You see, everyone keeps saying, oh, but legally, you know, when you're asylum, well, only because they signed a document. You can rescind a document at any time, say, actually, we're not upholding that document no more.
Right. So do you think then afternoon, Stephen, you're right, mate.
Right.
If something, someone like Rupert Lowe come in and implemented some of the things, some of the more extreme things that people might class as extreme in, do you think these people that are already here are going to accept it? Do you like if people are told they're going to have to leave, do you think people are going to accept it? Because I just don't see these people being civilized about it and being like,
Neither do I.
I don't think it would be like an easy transitioning. I think these people would like be up in arms about it even.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be easy. And I think you're going to have a lot of the nutty left going crazy, as well as, you know, the ethnic minorities that want to stand behind it all and that. but you're also going to have the majority of the country that does support it. It's going to be a bit like what's going on in America, probably, but it's not going to be as severe because I don't expect that they will do it by colour. It's going to be by whether you can genuinely be here or not. I mean, the first thing first, close the border. Don't let anybody in. Just shut it for a while. Only extreme reasons should we let people in, and then get rid of all the ones that are waiting to be processed. Get them out.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, isn't there? 'Cause you've got the illegal side of things, and then you've got the legal, which I think even legal migration needs to be.
And then you change all the policies for the legal side of it to reduce it straight down.
Definitely.
I don't think it's going to be as hard as what they make out it is, to be honest.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, like, it should just start from, like you said, there should be some tiers or something, and that's like a starting point. And that's if you broke the law, if you're a criminal or anything like that, you lot are all definitely straight gone. That's
You gone.
No questions asked. You're all gone. Came here illegally, committed crimes. You're gone. There's no dispute about it. And then so forth, go through the next tier and to the point where then somewhere you've got less of a burden of those that the state's having to kind of support to the ones that are actually here, adding to the economy and having like some kind of real genuine reason to be here.
What we need to be worried about, or what I am worried about, other people might not be so much so, is we don't want to encourage people like Steve Laws to think that because there is a level of migration that they can just march around the places and be racist, and the counterculture to be also march around and be racist. That
never exists. Listen, that racism isn't a thing in, you know, this, Dupes. None of it's to do with race.
I know. No, look. That's what I'm trying to say. I know that it's not to do with race. I know that it's to do with security and where these people have come from and the infrastructure and the numbers and the culture clashes, etc., etc. But my fear is if you don't do it correctly, but I think that Rupert Lowe could do it correctly. My fear is that if you don't do it correctly, you will have the fringes, the real extreme that will try to take advantage. But do I think that risk is worth taking? Yes, I do. Why do I think that? Well, because if we don't take the risk, we're going to have the carnage the other way anyway. It's just what people are not understanding, because we can manage these extremists like Steve Laws and their mindsets because they're a very, very tiny minority. But the Muslims can't manage their extremists, and nor can the left. They don't manage them. They can't control them. Whereas on the right, we can. And that's the difference. So is it a risk worth taking? Absolutely. And it's a lesser risk.
Yeah, 100%. Never even really looked at it like that, to be fair. That's a fair point. But yeah, just like I say, I don't, as I said, those ethno-nationalists, no disrespect to any of them. It's probably some that are really nice people and that they're just...
So I've spoken to a lot of ethno-nationalists over the years. I'm somebody that says I'm not a civic nationalist. I think that don't work. I think it had too many loopholes. That it worked until Islam come into the country. Let me put it that way.
Of course.
And they took advantage of all the loopholes, and so therefore that position is not good unless you can close the loopholes. But you can't without changing the ideology of a civic nationalist. So I think that's dead and done and dusted in the water. But I'm not an ethno-nationalist either, because I don't believe the problems are to do with your ethnicity. I believe it is to do with your culture. And even though a lot of cultures are because of your ethnicity, Islam is not one of them, because you can be from all different culture, all different ethnicities and still be Islamic. So, and the true problem that I see for the culture clashes is this Islamic mindset. It is.
Oh, I agree with you. Yeah.
At the extreme end, not all Muslims, by the way. I've got to say that not all Muslims.
No, but it is a massive culture clash from anything else.
Yeah.
And no, there isn't another culture actually, or maybe there is, but that doesn't assimilate like all the rest. All the rest can and have. Not the Muslim community, not for the most part. You know, I don't think governments and that have helped though. So like, you know, when these people are coming in, like so you'll have now like predominantly like Asian areas, yeah, Muslim areas. Why have they done that? Why weren't they like purposely assimilated, like when they were given social housing, say for instance? Why was it they made one areas where they put them rather than? I don't really get that. It's just
our problem is this, right, in this country, that nobody is recognising that people, once their front door shut within their own home, they're going to revert to whatever culture they grew up in, what they knew, how they feel most comfortable, right? And everyone's got a right to do that. So if they close their front door and they want to pray 5 times a day to whatever God they believe in, that's fine. Where our country went wrong is that they made all the public areas change for one culture. They didn't do it for the Chinese. They've never done it for the Romanians. They didn't do it for the Irish. They haven't done it for any of the Europeans that come over from Europe that have got a slightly different culture to us. They've not done. They didn't do it for Nigerians or Ghanaians or the Caribbeans, Jamaicans, but they've done it for Islam. Why? And the reason is we know the reason. Our government's got infiltrated. The extreme Islamic mindset that wants to caliphate, we're very forward thinking, considering a lot of them have got low IQ, and decided we'll take advantage of the DEI. We can say we're brown. We can say we're in a minority group. We can apply for positions we wouldn't ordinarily get, be promoted up, use that, get into positions of power at local councils, prime ministers, get into the Houses of Parliament and start influencing and start having, like with the Muslim Brotherhood, the Muslim Council of Britain, all these other little groups, and we'll push for what is suitable for us. And that's exactly what they've done.
And most of us don't even realise it's happened.
Yeah, you don't until you look around, because we don't always. Although we've got a very good system that maybe in some areas needed readjusting and stuff, but we had an infrastructure that British people understood. You only really use it if you're at the worst of times. Otherwise, you jog along merrily. You only go to your doctors if you need it. You only go to the hospital if you need it. You only go to, I don't know, citizens' advice if something really goes wrong. You jog along with your life. And so there's big gaps in between when you go to the some parts of this infrastructure. Like maybe, I don't know, you get a fire, you've got to suddenly have social housing. And then you realise actually you're at the bottom of the list because it's all being given to people coming in from outside. Or, you want to go and book a test in a driving centre and you can't because apparently there's block testing with the local council because they're giving it all to immigrants that are staying in the asylum centres. Or, you want a dentist, you can't get a dentist because all the dentists are now going to the asylum centres. And, it's all these kind of things where people start to wake up and realise, hold on a minute, what's going on? Yeah, and then, of course, there's the other stuff that they've done sneakily, which is they've pretended that health and safety is for health and safety benefits when really it's not. So they went on about smoking in pubs.
Oh, yeah,
knowing full well that it was going to take a hit on their business, knowing full well that more pubs would close. And now they're giving them extra taxes and all the rest of it. Because really what they want to do is close the public housing. not just to stop the social cohesion. That doesn't really matter to them, because they know that's dead and dying anyway. It's basically because they wanted to make sure that it all fitted, that it was a culture that made Muslims feel more comfortable. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Which is why I find it highly hilarious that the far left seem to get on really well with the extreme Islamists. I find it amazing. You know, I sit and
Winner.
watch.
Sorry, Jupes. Winner, what's going on? I've just checked it out, and I can see him like at a window in a car or something, but I can't really see much kicking off.
Where's that?
And I don't even think it's Bristol. I think it's more Gloucester, right? Hang on, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, that's another one, Flora. We've always been a nation of people that like animals, especially dogs.
Yeah. Take them over the park. You know, part of your daily ritual normally, but
And now it's, oh, well, dogs are racist. No, they're not racist, but what you're doing is using that DEI and the racism and, you know, all this stuff from Black Lives Matter, but really it's not even to suit black people, it's to suit Islam, because they don't believe in having dogs. And this is what I'm talking about. Everything you look at, you can say, is that a net benefit to the Islamic community? Oh, yeah, look at me do, it is. So every time they bring something in, it's not really benefiting the whole of society. There's one society that are benefiting from what's the end result is going to be. It's weird. But that's only my opinion anyway. And, you know, some people might argue and say that's not true, but that is what I see.
a lot of it is true, though. You've all you got to do to realise it's true is open your eyes and look around.
So apparently there's Antifa or something in Bristol. And a load of patriots have come out of, or loads of people have come out of a pub called the Red Lion. And there's some some clashes between the two, I think.
Sounds interesting.
Gypsy Dave.
Hi, baby. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. You?
Yeah, good, thanks. How you doing, Jupes? All right.
Hiya.
Hello, everyone in the chat. I think
Right,
what
Dave.
needs to happen is you have to start from the root of the cause, and the root of the cause was the agreements that Britain signed up to after World War II. They're the
Yeah,
first
maybe.
things that need to
So
be
you're gonna
addressed.
so you're going to say the ECHR again?
No. So you've got the Geneva Convention Act of 1948.
Right, go
So
on.
that was to take in misplaced people after World War II who had no documents, who had no homes, who were basically wandering aimlessly. You then had the Asylum Act of 1951. So they're the first two things that any new government from the right gets in needs to tackle. Because once you've tackled those, you're halfway to closing the door.
But I reckon Rupert Lowe probably would take a look at them.
Well, do you know what amazes me, Jupes, right? How countless governments over the years have just totally ignored that. Just to show the world, look how good we are, how hospitable we are and tolerant we are, but at the detriment of the people that live in this country, irrespective of colour, white, black, brown.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I agree with you. But hopefully, you know, we will get people that will go back and look at the legislations and change them all, make them fairer.
Well, they should be.
And actually, in some cases, people are not going to like me saying this, discriminatory in favour of the British people. You know, people should be putting their countries first. They should.
Well, for me,
Always.
Jupes, right, you are right. Now, when they talk about diversity, we're a similar age. But growing up in primary school in the 70s, I believe that we had a good balance of diversity then. Even though it might have been majority white, you come into a country that's majority white.
Yeah.
You know, now, for me, when they talk about diversity and inclusiveness and, you know, everyone's equal, well, hang on, I think some sectors in communities are more equal than others.
For me, I always understand that equality about was giving equal opportunities and equal respect. You know, if people had a baseline of behaviour, which was politeness and understanding, you know, but you didn't have to respect those who didn't respect you, and you certainly didn't see equality as this way of the way they think, where it's equity and all that. And it wasn't about that. You didn't expect equal outcomes. You didn't expect equal outcomes. You knew that that was based upon yourself, your own raw talents or determination, and you know, being self-motivating, being self-responsible. All of those things are kind of pushed out the window now, Dave. That's why.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the way I see it, you've got to close the door first, then deal with what you've got here.
I agree. Yeah. That's what I said.
And then formulate plans. For me, Jubes, right? I mean, like I say, we're a similar age, and I've seen the dismantlement of this country in many different aspects, from the dumbing down of the education system. So all that's there is low-paid jobs, and then Blair's lot, when they get in, oh yeah, well, all these jobs need to be filled because they're low-paid. Will you tell that to a young family with a couple of kiddies who've got high rent and high bills to pay, that you're going to go out to work for minimum wage? It just don't add up.
No.
Right.
Yeah,
And that's why
doesn't it?
people are on the state benefit system, Jukes, because it's the state that's done it all by design. And like you said a minute ago about pubs shutting down and all the rest of it, they do care about social gathering. They do care about people talking. And that's why everyone now has been steered onto the internet, because they can monitor it easy.
Well, I think that's what I'll try to, yeah.
Well, I don't think they can monitor the internet. I think it's only that we've got a bunch of retards that run around the internet reporting on everybody else. I mean, for God's sake, they don't seem to be reporting on the traffickers that have been on the internet.
Exactly.
You know, advertising, bringing people into the country. They don't seem to report on people that make threats against white people, or the racism towards white people, or anything like that. It's just that we've got a bunch of retarded white people in this country that have been brainwashed by the system, who actually think that they're doing something good if they, I don't know, report somebody for having a point of view that they don't have. It's mental.
Yeah, but do you know what's foolish about the left? They look at it through rose-tinted glasses, right? Now, when the right are voicing... Sorry? Oh, so
that's correct.
Yeah, so when the right, you know, point out what is actually factually going on, and then you've got to battle with it, and then when the left are left with it, and then afterwards they'll be the ones crying, "Go help us, help us." Well, it's too late. You should have woke up.
I don't know whether they will. I think not all lefties are bad people, so I want to make that quite clear, actually. But the extreme left, I think they're quite happy to be subordinate. They think they deserve it. They're full of white guilt. They think that it's a justification for the past. They're absolutely crazy. How many times have you seen somebody that's a roaring white liberal who there was somebody that was interviewed by Liam Tufts recently down in I think it was not Epping, the other place. I think it might have been Crowborough. And he was outside, and it was an elderly gentleman. And he said, "What would you do if your daughter was raped?" And he still wouldn't want to chuck them out of the country and stuff. And that is the mindset you're dealing with.
Yeah, I understand. But then
If my daughter was raped by one of them, I'd want to kill them all.
Yeah, me too. But don't you also think, though, that over the years, with the propaganda, you know, media, working with governments, that we've been brainwashed, indoctrinated. You know, they keep saying something long enough. Yeah, it's that old saying, isn't it? If you say something long enough, it becomes believable. So when people are told, you're a racist, you're a racist, you're a racist, white guilt, white guilt, white guilt, then people are like, you know, they always start off with their sentence, I'm not being funny, but I'm not being racist, but, and then make their point. And I think, no, just make your point.
Yeah. But I think you have to make the disclaimer, because if you don't make the disclaimer, when some little fuckwit, and sometimes even people on the right, go and report you, you can show them the whole stream and go, no, there was a disclaimer there. And I did say in my opinion. And you have to do this. And I know this more than anyone because I've had people fucking report me to a police station. You know that. It's mad.
Yeah, I know. It's disgusting.
You know, for saying the bleeding obvious.
Yep, totally agree.
How are you doing, Sean? UK?
Good evening, everyone. Hope you all well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, all good.
I mean, my thing, Dave, is like, I know you brought up the Immigration Act and the likes, and people keep going on about the ECHR and that. And like I've said to Bear when we've been chatting away from YouTube and that, is my opinion, none of them things say we have to give them 4- and 5-star hotels. None of them things say we have to give them free banquet meals a day. None of them things say we have to give them free phones, laptops, a brand new wardrobe, etc., etc.
If you read the Human Rights Act, I think you'll find that if any of those things are not provided for them, they will scream from the rooftops discrimination and they will win.
So why ain't France in the Court of Human Rights then? Because they don't give them none of that. Why ain't Germany in that court? They don't give them none of that.
Because this country likes to be seen as being the most hospitable and tolerant and welcoming of all the nations throughout the world. That's the trouble. Instead of being like Australia, no way, you're not coming in.
But regardless, if you're saying that it says in law that all of them things have to be provided, then it has to be provided regardless of where they are.
You know, Australia used to shoot rubber bullets at the dinghies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they did.
Well, do you remember, Jukes, when the world's media was on them and then boats were offshore and they were saying, you ain't coming in.
Yeah.
We don't care what the world thinks of us, you're not coming in.
Yeah.
And to me, right, I know people go on about Jukes, like borders are man-made, but to me, borders do serve a purpose. They're there to protect your people.
I agree with you, but our borders are not man-made. They're actually, we live on a coastal island, and at the end of the day, we shouldn't be having to deal with this shit. I mean, we've got a prime minister that wants us to go and fight for Ukraine. Fuck off. Why should we go and uphold someone else's borders when you won't uphold our own?
Yeah, but that's another card up his sleeve. If he starts a war with Russia, there's no elections.
Well, it's madness. All of it's madness.
I think it's treasonous, but all these politicians, red and blue, have done over the years. They've all financially graped this country at the detriment of the very people, the taxpayer, that are paying into the system to keep them in a lifestyle that they're accustomed to while everyone else has to struggle.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're treating us like slaves.
Yes,
whilst we have to listen to people talking about slavery from fucking 500 years ago and telling us we've got to feel guilty about it. I don't feel guilty about it. I can't do nothing about it. I weren't alive then.
No.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, did we go after the Vikings and the Romans?
You know.
They invaded us, enslaved us.
You know, but what we should be doing is renegotiating with all these countries, and I believe that Rupert Lowe and actually Base Welshman said it, put it on here the other day. He had a really good idea, and it was like, if these countries won't take back the shit cunts that have come here and done all these horrible things, then we start renegotiating how much aid we're going to give their countries. Just cut the aid.
Exactly.
Exactly.
cut the aid until they agree. That's our negotiation table. And he's right.
Yeah, but do you know why the certain sector that are here now wield so much power? Because they were very clever. What they did, they built their businesses, they built up their fortunes, they got into corridors of office with local government first, local councils, then they've got into government, and they do pull the strings. Now, Khan, he loves it in London. Why? Because that certain demographic of London, which is nearly half of London, is going to vote for him.
Yeah.
You know, I says, look, to me, people have got a short memory. Can you, like, going back a few years, can you imagine, pretty much directly after 9/11 or like our equivalent of a London bomb, the bus bombings?
What, 7/7?
Yeah, 7/7.
Yeah.
If I was to have turned around then and says, well, what we're going to do is we're just going to let allow the Muslims in. Can you imagine the
Yeah.
then?
Yeah, I know.
It's unbelievable. We went from seeing ISIS videos regularly on the TV, orange suits and black flags and people being killed and being told, look out for people getting on buses with beards, Qurans and backpacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
To it's a religion of peace overnight.
Yeah, but they don't come dressed like that anymore. Now they're all suits.
Yeah, but the thing is, Dave, they've forgotten that they traumatized the country by telling them that, you know, you've got to look out for this evil, it's evil, they're coming for you, this, that, and the other. And then thought that overnight they can just go, no, it's a religion of peace, by the way, and we've got to, you know, encompass them and we're going to bring more and more of them in. It's ridiculous.
It's not a religion of peace because, look, even if you meet the nicest, most placid person from that religion, when it comes to calling with the J word, they will adhere to it. It's an ideology. It's a belief. That's what it is.
It's just sick. That's what it is. It's fucking sick. And we all know that the reason that we had the influx is because of the uprising and the Gaddafi, and basically all those prisons got flung wide open and everyone started marching towards the west. We all know what happened. 2011, he threatened it. Yeah. Gaddafi said, give us more money or I'm opening the prisons. They didn't give him more money and he opened the prisons. We all know what happened.
Yeah, but where the money should be going into the infrastructure of the country, all those politicians are taking it.
I think they're fucking giving it away.
Well, yeah, they have given it away as well. And look, does India need foreign aid? Does Pakistan need foreign aid? No.
Well, India definitely doesn't.
Even China gets money off us. It's ridiculous.
As me and Bear have discussed in the past, if India can afford to send a rocket to the moon, then they can afford to fucking feed their own people, can't they?
Well, Pakistan can afford to have nuclear.
I believe on paper, it's still wrote down that somewhere like China's a developing country.
It's a load of bollocks, though, isn't it, man?
Mad, isn't it?
Well, we're going to be a developing country. This carries on because we're going to go back to fucking nothing.
We are going back to nothing.
Country.
It is third world.
Yeah.
It scares me, the world that we're leaving behind for future generations.
Well, this is the thing also. I mean, look, you talk about future generations, right? So look how they've dismantled, like I said earlier, every aspect of Britishness, culture, the lot, right? Be it pubs, education, whatever. Now, they've also done that dismantlement with the family unit. Now, if you don't have generations coming up having kids, you've got no future generations.
Yeah. Couldn't say it better myself.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I have. It worries a lot about me.
When these people are having ratio of 4 to 1, then you're outnumbered.
Yep.
That'll happen in the next 30 to 40 years.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's because a lot of them are freeloaders, yeah? So they're quite happy to come here and have like 5, 6 kids. As for like within our culture, and I think less people, it's not just people ain't having children like they once were because of all the financial with it now.
Yeah, exactly, BBO. But that's what I'm saying. So they worry about the financial aspects and where everyone's being stretched. These people seem to be doing all right.
Like says Gypsy Dave, I've seen quite a few posts about that. Like once they get the papers and stuff like that and getting to work, them contributing to the economy. Well, no, not really. But does if say like I was talking to, I think it was DP earlier on about this, and if it was to come over, say at 16 years old, and manage to get through the system and get the papers and everything within a year and start work. Somebody on minimum wage, which I mean, let's face it, as now skilled workers coming over on a dinghy. It just ain't happening. Down around.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Breaking news. Are you really serious? Those surgeons and all of that are coming over. Scientists and engineers.
So, like, to me, even if I say 17-year-old, if the paperwork and everything was rushed through, and it only took a year, even if that 17-year-old went into work, minimum paid work, and worked their entire life, chances are they're not going to pay enough tax to pay back what it cost for that year. What it costs to keep them for that year in an hotel with all the food and all the public services. They just ain't going to pay that money back. So they're always a negative on the economy.
You know,
But it's also going to be a negative on the economy because what they actually do is they're expanding the black economy.
Yeah, you know what doesn't get spoken about enough? Like we talk about putting them in these hotels here, but it goes much deeper than that. They take like. So, you know, the NHS and everything is literally operating out of these hotels, yeah? While you can't get an appointment at your local GP, these guys have to go down a flight of stairs and they will literally find dentists and the NHS there. There's literally been known for there to be a dentist that's been put into the hotel.
And if they can't get one, they've changed it now, but just recently. But before that, they were paying taxes for them to go to the nearest doctor.
Well, that
guaranteed appointment.
Not only that.
They said they've stopped that.
Yeah, they have recently. Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see that case where they sent that one on a 250-mile round trip for a doctor's surgery in a taxi?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still going on though. Truth Hurts covered it the other day. He was at a hotel and in the time he had been there, 2 taxis. So they haven't stopped it.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to review that. That's disgusting.
This is it.
Yeah, man, it's a fucking piss take. That's what it is. Oh yeah.
All of it's a piss take. Why are they giving them driving lessons? If they can give driving lessons out for free, why aren't they? Because they've made all the children stay on at school until they're 18. Why aren't they at 17, 1 day a week, they go off for a driving lesson? Why not?
Well, all that got messed up through COVID, didn't it? Because there suddenly became a big backlog and people like, I know even my own children were having difficulty in not so much booking the lessons, was getting the test.
No, you're right. You are right. But again, that's...
No, but Dave, what I'm saying is our kids are paying for it.
Yeah.
These people are coming in, getting it all for free, driving lessons and everything else.
I understand
Why
what
aren't
you're
they
saying,
giving it to 17-year-olds as they come to age, give them free lessons and make them driving?
I agree. I think myself, wherever government comes in, needs to not only invest in the infrastructure of this country, but invest in the younger generations, bring back apprenticeships, bring back the trades, the manufacturing and everything else. Bring it back. Those skill sets are lost because those industries that were around many years ago were generational, from grandfather to father to son.
You know what it is? You're right, Dave. We're very clever people, us British people.
We are.
We've been
We've got some
underestimated. for
very
far too long.
intelligent people, BBA.
Far too long. We've been underestimated.
Can I just address gas pipe in the chat quickly? Gas pipe. You typed that Romans never enslaved Britain. In actual fact, they did in 43 AD.
Yeah,
So
they did.
I just thought I'd correct you on that one. But anyway, good to see you, gas pipe. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, they did. But for some reason, we don't have much of their DNA, so they must have kept to themselves and just fucking thought of us as lesser.
Well, I don't know, Dupes. You could pass as Italian.
Yeah. When I go, it's brilliant, Dave, because I can go to Turkey. They think I'm Turkish. I go Spain.
Yeah.
They think I'm Spanish. I go
that.
I go all over the place, and they just think I'm one of theirs. So I don't really get threatened till I open my mouth, and then they go, "You English?" Yeah.
That's great,
My
Daddy.
missus gets a lot of that. Like, I think the last person I heard say it to, I said she was fucking Macedonian or something. Are you Macedonian?
Oh, fucking hell.
I don't know where that come from.
Macedonia.
So gas
Yeah,
pipe says
I'm
in the
back.
chat.
Yeah.
It says that there is manufacturing in the UK. Car exports account for the most. Well, but they're not British owned, are they? They're not British
Not,
vehicles, are they?
not really, no.
They're all foreign companies. And do you know the other thing, right? Now he's just got me onto something. The other thing I would do, Dupes, right, and guys on the panel in the chat, is the government should take back our gas, our electric, and our water.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because we don't own British Gas anymore, do we?
No, we don't know
Same
anything
with our
really.
railways. We should get that should be public again. Railways shouldn't
Yes.
be private.
I agree.
Yeah, there needs to be a big shift with all that.
I says, Dave, just like going over the last say 10 years. If you get all them companies, what used to be publicly owned, public transport, like the fuel companies, BP, British Gas, the MEB when it's
We
British
sold
Tele-
our shares in banks as well recently under Rishi Sunak. I think it was Rishi Sunak.
Yeah.
if you was to get all them companies and the profits have made in the last 10 years, if that was going back into the public purse, we'd be one of the fucking richest countries in the world.
We should be. Yeah, we should be.
The income tax would be able to be dropped to virtually nothing, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? Because you're paying it all through through your bills.
Well,
Yeah.
I just think myself personally. I mean, I know this might sound a bit extreme to some, and I welcome all colours, and I've grown up with many different colours and friends and stuff. Now, for me, I think that the indigenous, if you like, of this country, are under threat. I'm not saying that people of colour are not under threat. I consider British as well, because they are. You've got a dinner table, which is our country, with 30 people sat at it. Suddenly, you've got another 100 people trying to join that table. There ain't enough food to go around.
Our peoples, definitely, our people is
Yes.
definitely kind of it's diminishing, it's disappearing.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think we should be ashamed to be British, and we should revere in our culture, our history, and everything. Good and bad.
No, I agree, man. Like I said, there's just so much of it, isn't there? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we're the only country now where you can't be proud of your country's history. If in fact you're meant to have this, like you said,
Well, outfly your flag, BBA. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. That being called racist is mental.
Yeah.
But the funny
Now-
thing was that only used to be for the English flag, but now it's even for the British flag.
Yeah. Well, again, it's
No.
the same. It's the same narrative, Dupe. So, like I said, if something's said long enough, then suddenly it becomes believable and acceptable, and people go, "Oh, okay, then I won't fly it."
That's one thing I'll never say is I won't fly it, though.
Sorry.
I'll never say I won't fly an England flag.
No, you'd be proud of, we should be proud of our flags, be it English, Welsh, Scots, Northern
British,
Ireland,
yeah,
British flag, even the Irish flag. Fly the flags.
exactly.
Yeah, we need to fly them flags.
We do. And I'm going to say something that's a bit more probably controversial. So if you look back at history 100 years ago, and I keep saying this even on my panel, you've got the communist Marxist and the 4B2s, a certain section of the 4B2s. I'm not classing every 4B2 as being bad, right? Now, they conspired to rid Germany in the 1930s of all German-speaking people from Germany. You go forward 100 years to now, and it's being done again, the theatre, but it's just done in a different way. So you've got the Wooden Horse of Troy coming in with all these immigrants. That's how you're going to dilute a country. That's how you rid a country of its people, because sooner or later, who's going to be considered British?
Well, look, I don't think that white indigenous people are going to die out. I don't think that's ever going to happen. But will they be in the minority? Yes. And there won't be no one running around saying that we need to protect their species like they do for every other cunt. You know, and
I agree
and
with that to an extent,
you know.
but actually, the white race in general is actually becoming less and less.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll die. It won't. People don't understand genetics properly. They don't. So if you're going to say that some will marry in, and then you'll find that into other cultures, and then you'll find that there'll be throwbacks, and there will be white people. There's always going to be white people. You can't eliminate white people 100%, because there'll always be those that turn up being white, even amongst a load of black people. You know.
Yeah,
Prove that.
Is done by numbers.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, we're still in the thousands. Don't think that we're down to sort of like 10 people and only. But what annoys me is when people turn around and say that it's because of all the interracial relationships and that. Actually, that's a very, very small minority. The demographics changing actually isn't anything to do with admixture at all. It's to do with loads and loads of families, whole families, cousins, aunts, uncles, you know, two wives, 14 kids coming in. And so their demographics getting larger that way, which is making ours smaller. So our numbers are not actually, well, they are going down because we're not having as many children now, but our numbers are not being sort of like, you're not being wiped out and then they're replacing you. It's just that they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what's going on.
Yeah, but Jews, back in the day, you used to have a lot of large families. That don't happen now.
Yeah, well, that's a sad thing, isn't it?
It
I think
is
it's sad.
Yeah.
It's one of them, innit? Like I say, I'm just well happy about this Rupert Lowe and Restore Britain now being a registered political party that's going to run. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope it can gain some legs and potentially be the future of this country.
Well, so do I. It's our last hope.
Go on,
It is
Sean.
our last hope. Our last chance at anything.
Yep. And I hope that people realise that.
Another issue that I can see is obviously more and more coming and let's say get into positions like MPs and that. The less likely there is for any change, isn't there? You know what I mean? Because obviously, if you got say 20% of Muslim in the Houses of Parliament, that 20% are very unlikely to vote for things like banning unstunned slaughter and against first cousin marriages and things like that in there, you know what I mean? Because that is in with their culture. So they're unlikely then to vote against it when they get into their positions.
Yeah. You say what you're saying that's something that will. What are we saying there? That because obviously you're not really going to get that with Restore Britain, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's like
Restore Britain has said that he will ban kosher and halal slaughter.
Yeah, and so it should be. But this is what I'm saying. Like if we continue as we are, and more Muslim and Jewish people become MPs, then they're very unlikely to vote against that kind of thing, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Okay, let's take that one there, banning halal meat and stuff, right? Again, do you think that all the Muslim people that eat halal meat are just going to actually accept that? And are you telling me that there's not a chance that things like Supreme Courts can get involved and turn around and say, well, that's impossible and unfair to do because it goes against their human rights?
Exactly. Correct.
Well, that's why we need to get out of some legislation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just how you do that, like I say, because again, even when coming out, it's the same thing. You try coming out of a piece of legislation that you're not happy with, Supreme Courts and stuff get involved, and they rule it as like basically like inhumane. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's all good and well, and I want to believe that these things can be changed, but we've seen it, man. Look at just recently with the Palestine action thing. Look at the
I
way
think
people-
anything is possible. You've only got to look at what Donald Trump did in his own country, to not do exactly the same, because I think that he's on steroids, but you know, but we can definitely put our foot down and change things. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're under a different legislation to us. They're not handcuffed like we are.
Yeah, but I'm
Well,
sure
might
there's
well be.
funding that comes from central government that we can say, right, well, if you don't play ball, you're not going to get the funding.
Maybe.
You see, what we need is people that are hardball negotiators. We haven't got anyone like that in Parliament at the moment.
Got pussies like Starmer.
Yeah, that is the case as well. Like, you know, you can give you can fault Donald Trump if you want, loads. There's loads of faults for him, but one thing he is actually quite good at is negotiating
And it's
deals,
for no shit.
and now to play certain things and call people's bluffs on certain things.
Yeah,
need-
that's what you need. Good hard negotiators. What we've got at the moment is all for authoritarian, but an authoritarian that's all for extreme left.
Yeah, totally agree.
And
crazy.
do you see the left getting more dangerous? Because when you're seeing cases like we see the other week where people are getting found not guilty and someone's been injured with a fucking hammer and a fractured spine, and these people are getting away with that, when we're seeing that they're kind of on about lifting the ban on this Palestine action, does this not give the left more confidence to act more erratic? And
they will. They
Yeah,
will.
it
because
does,
they pass more laws, more statutes, more acts that supersede and reduce our freedoms even further.
Yeah. This is what the left are cultivating it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. They've created these monsters, these nutcases that don't know whether they're men or women, but that run around screaming blue murder at everybody, that think it's okay for Charlie Kirk to be shot dead and all the rest of the stuff. The government have actually created these monsters.
It's all done by design.
Yeah. They honestly think, in his tiny pea brain, Starmer thinks that he's creating utopia, but he's actually creating hell.
Yes.
He is, yes.
No, and you're right. He does actually think he's doing. Well, I heard when all that shit came out the other week. He's like, and he was asked if he was going to step down. It was something to the lines of, he was voted in by the people to fix this country, and basically that's what he's going to keep on doing. He's fixing the country. That's what they're doing.
But he doesn't live in reality.
He doesn't. You can tell by that statement that it was somebody that lives in their own dystopian world.
Oh, he's fixing it. He's fixing it all right, but he's fixing it to suit the left.
I think it's hallucinating.
What's happened is he's listened to what do they call them, pressure groups. So you've got the Black Lives Matter pressure groups, you've got the Muslim Council for Britain and all that, the Jewish pressure groups. That, by the way, a lot of Jews say don't represent them, which is kind of weird. You've got the trans lobby groups. He's listened to all these pressure groups and thinks that their suffering is all realistic. But of course it's not. A lot of it is exaggerated because they want funding. They need to find consistently reasons to be victims, to keep gaining the funding, to keep gaining their jobs, to keep doing what they're doing.
We were saying this, me and UK Transparency, the other day about victim mentality.
You know, that's what's going on. And because he's a rich kid, he doesn't live in reality.
Yeah, but also,
you know, he says he wasn't. He says his father was a tool maker. Well, tool makers was a middle class profession. Let's be honest about it. It's not working class, is it?
No.
Working class is the bloke that uses the tools.
Yeah, but how can a country, how can this government, right, be worried about a £22 billion black hole, apparently, and yet the first thing they did when they come to power, started dishing out pay rises.
Yeah, but Dave, that was all a lie anyway. It all came out after their last budget that she lied. She made out the budget was in deficit when it wasn't.
It weren't. No, I know that. I know.
I think everybody knew that.
You know, all this austerity that we were supposed to have for the benefit of our country, it wasn't. It was also they could put money towards fucking immigration.
Yeah, it's the detriment of our country. Anyway, guys, BBA, Jukes, everyone on the panel and the chat, I've got to go. I've got my eyebrows to wash, so have a good evening, guys, and have a good live.
Yeah, so
Take care.
Catch you later. Thank you.
Look up for yourself.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pop off as well. Thanks for having us up, BBA.
No,
You'll have to return the favour soon because I do see you popping in, but you don't come up.
I do come in. Yeah, I'll jump up.
Yeah. You have to jump up one time.
Yeah, well, no,
all right, will. Take care. Bye, chat. Bye, panel. Thank you.
Take care, Jukes.
Yeah, guys, I might just end this actually. Done a couple of hours. I was going to do it for this evening, but it's Sunday evening. I've got work and that in the morning, and it'll just be chaotic in my house trying to do that type of shit at that time. So
yeah,
you know what? I'll do it this afternoon instead.
Hey, Bear, before you go, you happy about yesterday?
Oh, well, do you know what? I was going to let you go without giving you any stick, but now you mention it. Now you mention it, I'm glad we fucking smashed the shit out of Villa last night.
We were shit. We were shit.
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
Oh, the fucking idiotic moron of a keeper. Fair play, man. I'm gonna knock it like.
No, yeah, sound. But no, I appreciate you anyway, bro, and I'll catch you on the next one. Yeah.
All right then.
All right, bro. Sound.
Sean, I'll speak to you, mate.
On Discord or something in a minute. I'll jump in Discord.
Yeah, catch you later. Catch you all later. Check
I'll jump in VC. So,
bye, mate.
Big up to everybody in the chat as well. Appreciate it. One Gem Media, what's up, man? Don't think actually I've had you in the chat before. If I have, I haven't actually seen you before in the chat. But I appreciate you coming in, man. Appreciate you coming in. Tim, good to see you. Flora, everyone else as well. Really good to see everyone. Hope everyone's had a great weekend. For those working men and women, we gotta do it all again tomorrow morning. But it is what it is, right? And I'll catch you in the week anyway. I'll catch you in the week. Me and I think DP are going to try and hit a few places in the week as well when I finish work. So hopefully there'll be a few little bits and that to watch. There's a a video I dropped today on YouTube. Not the most exciting, but it's a bit from when I was outside court for the sentencing of Rhiannon Sky White's murderer. So go over and give that go check that out. And yeah, big up, guys. I'll see you all on the next one. I'm going to go jump in Discord. So for anyone that's in the Discord, that's where you'll find me. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for joining, guys. Peace out.